push people who can make it happen, even in the private sector. So, this is a match made in heaven, so to speak.
Yeah, and look, my thing always is try is to listen to the people that are on the ground with us. Me and Jet started Adolf, and we're gonna run this.
Be honest. Do you really want to watch a video that looks like this? There's a good reason why presenters use images and visualizations while they're talking, because it's what makes people pay attention. With a Doodly animation, you're on.
Run this the right way. But if the chapters want to meet with you, I gotta meet with you. And the chapters went out and met with you and felt out 121 because I think what happened was AB 3121 led to an awakening that reparations is the ultimate answer because it repairs so much economically and socially. Part of when I look at this discussion, people don't see, what people don't unpack is we're not talking about buildings, we're talking about truth. And we're not talking about a gift, we're talking about a debt. That is a fundamental difference than what is being asked for by any other group. We built America, then we're shut out of America, then built upon by America. And one of the things that I really liked about your plan, despite my criticism, was the fact that you recognize that truth, the American descendant of slavery part of this thing. Now, of course, there need to be fixing, but one of the things that I do commend you on is what you did as far as AB 3121. With that, a lot of people don't know in the last few weeks, Adolf here in Los Angeles and in California were able to reach out to you and you were able to make connections with the governor to push him to, in the direction of probably where he's going already, but push him over the hump to get him to sign that bill. And I just want to say I commend you, regardless of what anybody else thinks, before we get into the discussion about Donald Trump.
you. I appreciate it. Thank God we connected at the right time because he's actually running out of time. He actually signed a bill the last day that he could have signed. So, um, that's what making the right connections um, and being able to work together to make sure that this debt is paid. Um, it's a humongous debt, but it's not insurmountable. It can be done. There's a million formulas you can come up with to make sure this debt is done. And so, um, it's just great to be able to hook up with people who've been pushing in the direction that I want to push.
Yeah, man. And so, look, we got 2,500 people in here. I expect
Oh, are you mute?
Huh? I
Are
can
you,
hear you.
we had really good discussion yesterday, and nobody heard it.
No doubt, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. You're listening to the Trahern Cruise Show on 94.1 FM, Frogtown Tuned In Radio. So, real quick, I was asking you, Minister Toya Woodland, and I don't know if it came through uh, streaming live on the ICIL ministry pages.
I don't know if it's on ICL.
Where's it at?
It's on Willing for Congress.
Woodland for Congress. You can go to the Woodford for Congress and interact with this conversation if you want to. But what I was asking Ms. Woodland is, if a candidate, Republican,
It's there now.
if a candidate, whether he was a Republican, if he was supporting reparations, would you support that candidate?
Of course.
If a candidate was a Democrat and they was supporting reparation and was actively working for it, you seen them tangibly doing things to make it happen, would you support that candidate in that move?
Without a doubt.
And if it was a Green Party candidate or an independence candidate, would you support them?
Of course I would.
So, why do you think Ice Cube faced so much backlash this past week because he met with the Trump administration about his planned contract for Black America?
Because he was a black man stirring up trouble as far as the status quo is concerned, especially the Democratic Party. As far as the Democratic Party was concerned. So they're not used to us asking for anything. They're not used to us wanting anything in return for our vote because we have been conditioned just to give our vote away. We failed to take our own advice. Many black mothers have told their daughters, don't give why would they buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? So we've been giving away the cow. We've been giving away the milk, so they don't need to buy the cow. They don't need to do anything for us if we're going to continue to just give our vote away. So all of a sudden, a black man with a voice and a platform will come along and want to question us about reparations and say that we need a new black agenda that supports reparations for American descendants of slavery. Oh my God, let's target him and assault him verbally, make him and discredit him amongst his own people.
So, why do you think you're running for Congress in the 5th Congressional District of Minneapolis? Why do you think reparations is the number one issue for that district?
First of all, that the 5th Congressional is the 4th worst place in America to live as a black person. It's the absolute fourth worst place. The median annual income for ADOS in the 5th Congressional District is $15,000, right? And the median median income for white America in the Minnesota Fifth Congressional is $60,000, right? So that's four times, um, I'm a little bit over four times the amount as black people. We need to shorten that wealth gap where black people are able to have generational wealth. We're able to own the corner store. We're able to own something other than a barbershop or a beauty shop. We're able to invest in places like McDonald's and Taco Bell, the things that service our neighborhood. That we have our own stores and our own community, um, and increase and shorten that wealth gap so that I can have generational wealth for my children. I want to leave my children more than life insurance.
So what is, as far as housing is concerned, 50% of the blacks, 50% of the homeless population in America is black.
Mm-hmm.
How will reparations solve that?
Okay, so reparations not only includes cutting the check, but it includes land and restoration. Okay, when we think about reparations, we think about repairing, but we also have to think about restoration. Like it's bringing mending and healing a lot of things that have happened in Black America. In Black America, bringing our people together so they can have land and home to pass down from one generation to the next, where we are preventing future homelessness and ending current homelessness. There should be housing programs that are strictly tailored for ADOS only, right? So, and I'm not saying that no other community deserves anything, but we're the only community that built this country. We're the only community that went through Jim Crow. We're the only people that were brought here on ships and chains and have been oppressed for the last 441 years. So we have to have home housing programs that are strictly dedicated to aid those people.
No doubt. We're going to take a quick equality break, and we'll be back to talk more about reparations and the 2020 election right here on 94.1 FM, Broadtown Community Radio.
It's on ICIEL now.
No doubt, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. You're listening to the Trahern Cruise Show on 94.1 FM, Frogtown Community Radio. So we've been talking about reparations, and we've been talking about it with the understanding that it's not just, of course, direct cash payments is like the number one issue because we're focused on closing the racial wealth gap. But there are other issues that attack wealth too, like police brutality and healthcare. So how will reparations affect healthcare for foundational Black America?
Well, currently, we are the most underserved people in as far as to health and wellness concerns, like especially since in the COVID, this is killing, especially in the COVID, right? So we have been the most underserved people in the COVID, and since the COVID has hit, we have been actually my insurance, my health is my life insurance went up $200 because they said that I was in a higher my ethnicity may put me in a higher target for COVID-19. I was in my underlying condition, so they went up on my health insurance $200, and that's something that my life insurance. That's something I have to have. So let's talk about health insurance. So we're underinsured already. We've been underinsured here in America. Even back when Fannie Lou Hammer was being experimented upon, Black women had no health insurance. So we've had very little health insurance here in America. So reparations will allow us to be able to be served and be by the medical community with equality. We will be able to be able to have health and wellness, have screenings, have prenatal care, bring in healthier babies. That will help us to be able to pay for adequate health care here in America.
No doubt. And I just want to piggyback off that. Back in the day, here we could go, just had this conversation, we could go to see Dr. Crutchfield. We could go see Dr. Abrams. We could go to Model Cities Health Center. Model Cities Health Center was started by Dr. Beverly Hawkins, who was an ADOS woman or a foundational Black woman who became a pastor, a Camper Church, and then she also started Model Cities Health Center. Mm-hmm. So we need more ADOS doctors, ADOS nurses, more doctors and nurses who have ancestors who have went through slavery, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, the crack epidemic, and all those things like that, so that they can create and learn a curriculum for treating PTSD, post-traumatic slavery disorder. Point number 5 is resources for health, wellness, and healing for Black families and communities. The intergenerational, psycho, cultural, mental, and spiritual physical damages of the post-traumatic slavery syndrome, the daily toll of racism on individuals, families, and communities, and the debilitating effects of chronic health disparities resulting from structural institutional racism are well documented by leading psychiatrists, psychologists, and physicians. Moreover, many public hospitals and medical facilities that traditionally serve Black communities have either been forced to close or are ill-equipped to offer a full range of services for lack of adequate funding. So just the intergenerational, psycho, cultural, mental, spiritual, and physical damages of post-traumatic slavery syndrome. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about intergenerational mental trauma, what is that talking about?
We're talking about intergenerational mental trauma?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about mental health, right?
Right.
We're talking about post-traumatic slavery syndrome, and talking about how we don't relate to one another, how we have a lack of respect. Let's talk about our lack of respect as Black women for Black men because of the Willie Lynch syndrome, and how the Black man was never portrayed as a protector of the Black woman. The Black one, and it was systematically designed for the Black woman to not see her man as a protector. As she was, like the Democrats always say, the Black woman is the backbone of the Black community, and that should never be. That's a horrible statement to make, right? Because what they know is that a strong Black man that can lead this woman, and if he's leading her, then she's leading others, and so they never wanted that to be. So a lot of effects of slavery and the mental breakdown of that comes through relationships with the Black man and the Black woman. They would take the Black man and beat him and beat him and beat him. So she saw no refuge in the Black man. And even after slavery with Jim Crow and dragging her man out of the car and beating him up, or allowing the police to be able, because of the world we live in, or the situation we are in, police being able to fondle your woman while you were standing there. And if you said anything, you could be shot or killed. So it was systematically structured to break down that trust.
So it goes on to say the daily toll of racism on individuals, families, and communities, and the debilitating effects of chronic health disparities resulting from structural institutional racism are well documented. And structural institutional means hospitals, banks, schools, just institutions where throughout the day, how much racism does the Black child face in a 24-hour period when he comes out the house, or even when he's just watching TV or reading books or things like that. So those are the psychological effects that have been causing trauma on people in the Black community. But there are also physical attacks, and sometimes those physical attacks result in death, like with the case of George Floyd and others. Also things like tests that were run on Black women during slavery and even after slavery, with like Fannie Lou Hamer, the sterilization of Black women and things like that. So we really need to see more Black nurses, more Black doctors, whether they're male or female, and we need to have more hospitals and facilities that are operated and owned by foundational Black Americans that can treat issues like post-traumatic slavery disorder and others. We have Sister Solidarity is coming up October 25th, next Sunday. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so Sister Solidarity is a commemorative rally and march on the original A Million Women March in 1997, October 25th. It will be the 23rd anniversary of the Million Women March. We are excited about celebrating Black women, excited about, restoring Black women, and we're doing a Sister Solidarity Week. We're going to lead up until the rally. We're starting, well, not week, half a week. Starting on Thursday, we're going to do workshops and live streams for healing of live streams called Let Us Heal, and From Pain to Purpose, done by Sister Delcia, from the Page Act and Equality and Education, done by Sister Kulia. So we're gonna have and also a panel done by Sister Salamine. So we're gonna also she's not from here, but she's one of our. She ran for political office, ran for president. So she's gonna do a Indian racism works panel for us along that week. So we're really excited about what's to come and how the original march was for restoration and forgiveness from one sister to another, then restoration and restoring the home. And like I was just saying, as far as, allowing the black man to lead, it's not for the woman to come in and be the head of the household, but restoration of the home brings the man back allows us to bring our men back into the home and allow them to push them to lead to the next level, because they say behind every good man is a great woman, right? So we have to it's learning how to be that woman behind that man.
And we do want women to lead, but we also know and recognize that black men do matter too. And I think a lot. So what we're seeing with Ice Cube stepping up and others like LeBron James, other athletes or superstars who haven't traditionally spoke out politically, is black men are starting to lead again. But it's not just about black men leading, it's just about black men standing up so that the black family can lead together. And we can lead as a community and come together, but not just say, oh, I think that, certain political parties divided the black community for their own political purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're figuring that out. And I think some people want to hear more from black men about their political views. And I think we're going to start seeing that a lot more. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to another edition of the Trahern Crew Show on 94.1 FM Frogtown Community Radio. If you haven't voted yet, if there's somebody that you feel confident in voting with, go out and vote to the polls. Minister Toya Woodland, what's your website?
Woodland for 5th District, Woodland for 5th District.org and Woodland for Congress.com. I have two. I am running as a write-in for the U.S. 5th Congressional District. You'll see the Republican, the Independent, the Democratic candidate, and then at the bottom of that, you'll see write-in Toya Woodland. And we're going to write Toya in so we can win.
So don't forget, this week, I think if you go to Woodland for Congress page, they'll be having lectures, or the BLM page, BLM Minnesota page, there'll be workshops for the Sister Solidarity Week of Action. Sister Delshia Perry, Sadanam Curry, Kulia Pringle, a lot of powerful black women will be giving workshops from the 22nd through the 24th. Then on October 25th, there'll be a big rally at the Capitol. I believe that starts at 4 or 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in commemoration of the 23rd anniversary of the Million Woman March. And basically what all these marches, the Million Man March, the 25th anniversary of the Million Man March just passed. On October 25th, we'll be commemorating the 23rd anniversary of the Million Woman March. And it's all about atonement. And basically, the city of St. Paul needs to atone to its black residents. And the way that happens is through reparations. The state of Minnesota needs to atone to the American descendants of slavery. And the way that's going to happen is through reparations. And the United States government needs to atone to foundational black Americans. And that's going to happen through reparations. So we'll be talking about this more and celebrating the achievements and the accomplishments and demanding justice for Breonna Taylor and other black women who have been victims of police brutality in the United States, October 25th at the Minnesota State Capitol. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Trahern Crew Show on 94.1 FM Frogtown Community Radio. All right, peace.
Peace.